And I got this. I saw this on Chiefs Wire. Our friend Charles Goldman
Yep.
wrote this article on his site there for USA Today. But I talked about the fact that once the regular season was over, the Chiefs 2020 draft class can now officially, those guys can sign extensions going into a season with their final rookie deal. And so my question for you is, of these 5 guys I'm about to mention, because I'm dropping this on you, you get a natural reaction. 5 guys are eligible to sign these extensions. I'm going to go through all 5 of them, talk a little bit about their 22 season, just to kind of stall a little bit, give you an opportunity to think through your answer for the listeners here. All right. Number 1, running back, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Played in 10 games this year, 302 yards, 3 touchdowns. I don't think Clyde Edwards-Helaire, at least based on his rookie deal, the 5th-year option, all that, I don't know. Be surprised if he came back to the Chiefs. I still think Clyde has something. He's going to get a shot somewhere in the league. Don't know if it's going to be with the Chiefs. So taking that answer right off the table, because I know it wasn't with these other guys. Second one, we'll stay on the offensive side. There's 2 offensive players.
Okay.
Offensive tackle, Lucas Niang. He's played 10 snaps this year as a player that really has had a rocky start to his career. He opted out with the COVID year, and he had a big injury, hasn't worked his way onto the field as Andrew Wiley's pretty much held on to that right tackle spot, even as he had different points at which he struggled. But Lucas Niang is available to hang around, get an extension. And then it's the 3 defensive guys that are most likely, I believe, to be your answer. First one, Willie Gay Jr. In 2022, career high numbers set in terms of tackles with 88, sacks with 2.5, and passes defensed with 8. Probably the most likely one. Cornerback L'Jarius Sneed. His 2022 season, 108 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 11 pass breakups, and L'Jarius Sneed is Pro Football Focus's number 10 ranked corner in the NFL. Again, number 10 in the NFL among cornerbacks that have played at least half their snaps. So I think he was actually like 15th. Cut that off for guys who actually are on the field a lot. Side nugget on this, and separating it like that, there's only 2 teams in the NFL that have 2 cornerbacks ranked in the top 15 of Pro Football Focus's cornerback grades. It's the Kansas City Chiefs, because Trent McDuffie is ranked 15th in the NFL.
He's so good.
15th in the NFL as a mid to late round, first round pick, which is crazy. How many cornerbacks are drafted above him? One of which is number 1 in Sauce Gardner for the New York Jets. And the New York Jets are the other team. It's Sauce Gardner and Michael Carter are the 2 cornerbacks for the Jets that are ranked, I think, 1 in like 12. And the Chiefs have 10 and 15. Again, one of only 2 teams in the NFL alongside the New York Jets to have 2 cornerbacks ranked in the top 15 of Pro Football Focus's grade. So L'Jarius Sneed, a very good one. And then a sneaky, solid option to give, because I don't think be terribly expensive right now and has showed some development, is defensive end Mike Dana. Is open and eligible for a contract. So he's got a career high of 5 sacks this year to help the Chiefs really improve in that area. I'll have a YouTube short that I'm producing later today regarding just the Chiefs defense and the sacks and what that has looked like this year.
Ooh, I look forward to that. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm going to dust off the old video editing skills.
Yeah.
But of those 5 guys, give me your top 2 most likely, because I think one of them is kind of easy.
Yeah, L'Jarius Sneed is the most logical one. So I'll be fascinated to see how that goes. He's also now been given the responsibility of you travel with usually the best team's receiver, which he did sparingly at times with obviously Devontae Adams last week. So yeah, I'm assuming the Chiefs and L'Jarius will have a conversation. Willie Gay is interesting. He is a 2nd round pick, so you have to keep that in mind. He is now a starter. One side of me says, because of the suspension over the year, because he's still a young player, you might want to see another full season of Willie Gay in the system. On the other side is, if you could somehow get a team-friendly deal for Willie Gay, then that would make probably the best sense for the team standpoint. If I was representing Willie Gay, I think you can get even better, which means you may not come to an agreement. You may play out the final deal of your rookie contract. For stability purposes, because Andrew Wiley is a free agent, it does make some sense to give a logical and again reasonable contract extension offer to Lucas Niang because again he's worked with the training staff this entire time, and when healthy last year he did show that he is capable of being a competent offensive right tackle. We still don't know what the effects of what his play style is going to be coming back from that knee injury. It was quite significant. It's only been a year now since that injury occurred, which I like to remind people all the time. They played the Bengals right after New Year's Day of 2022, and that's when he had the injury before the regular season finale against the Denver Broncos. So with him being back already, that's a good sign. With him being like basically the swing tackle in case something happens in these next few games, that's obviously another benefit for him as well. So he makes the most sense. As I think about Clyde Edwards-Helaire, this is how I can see it playing out, BJ. They will not pick up his fifth-year option. It makes no sense to do that. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is with the team. He has been in the facility the last couple weeks. There is a minor chance, and I think he actually helps the team getting the bye week, kind of helps his chances. There's a minor chance he might be in uniform instead of Ronald Jones. But by the way, Ronald Jones averaged 4.5 yards a carry against the Raiders. So, Ronald Jones is starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm now. He obviously scored a touchdown in the game. So, do you play with the hot hand or do you obviously bring a guy back from a significant, high ankle injury? So when the season ends, the Chiefs will have meetings at the combine involving Clyde Edwards-Helaire with other teams. They will try to find a best possible solution of trading him. Likely, they will see where he is on the trading block, in essence. What usually happens then is the player comes back for the off-season workouts. It's usually voluntary. I can tell you right now, I'm not sure if Clyde is going to be around for the voluntary portion of OTAs. Then you have mandatory minicamp and training camp. It will behoove both parties that Clyde show flashes in next season's preseason. And then at that point, if there's an injury at the position for another team, it may lend Clyde Edwards-Helaire to be traded right before the start of the regular season. If that does not occur, well, then he is on the final year of his rookie contract with a chance to be a part of the committee with, we assume, Isaiah Pacheco. We assume Jerick McKinnon probably going to come back on another one-year deal if all goes well for him. So he'll be part of that committee again. But he won't have as many snaps or chances to prove himself in a way similar to what Josh Jacobs just did for the Raiders, which is lead the league in rushing in the contract year after the team denied him the chance of the fifth-year option. If Clyde wants to do that, it would probably serve him best to do it on another team, to have the chance to maximize his opportunities to have a stellar season in the final year of his rookie contract before he hits free agency. I think all parties understand this, and yet if something unforeseen happens in January, and if Clyde Edwards-Helaire is available, he might be on the field to try to contribute to some degree to help the team get back to the Super Bowl. But as you said, BJ, the odds are increasing that he might not be with the Chiefs when the 2023 regular season starts.
You bring up a lot of good stuff there, and we'll quickly move on from Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but it's an interesting point to be made. And if Clyde Edwards-Helaire is back on this team and fans that are not fans of him are trying to figure out why, and this is just me playing, not devil's advocate, but just the other side of this, is that you need bodies at the running back position. Unless you draft another one and you've got two young guys, the financial part of this comes in because Clyde Edwards-Helaire is only due $2 million next year. His cap hit's like $3.4 million, which in general isn't very much money compared to what you would have to spend on a veteran. Some veteran free agent goes and hits the market. He's going to cost you more than what Clyde Edwards-Helaire is right now. So is the difference of a guy like Ronald Jones. I looked up his contract. He's making $1.25 million. For where he is right now. So you go get a Ronald Jones who can be as excited as you want, but has not had an opportunity to play, and Clyde has, and that the team obviously feels that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is significantly better than Ronald Jones when he's healthy. They have made that point and they have proven that to us. So if Clyde Edwards-Helaire is back, it's a matter of they didn't think anybody in free agency that would likely cost more was worth the difference in value of what they already have with somebody who's here, who's going to be motivated to come out and do whatever he needs to do in the offseason to get his body right, to come in and perform well. And then it gives him options if he performs well and they draft another guy, or they hit on an undrafted free agent, which we've seen before.
Which is likely what they'll do at the position.
Yeah. A John Ross type at running back coming in and being signed and giving him an opportunity. We've seen it with Sharkandrick West. We saw it with Spencer Ware. Those guys both signed reserve future deals, practice squad type players, and they stepped up. And when they got their deals, those were 3-year, $9 million. I'll never forget, because they got the exact identical deal, which I don't know if that's ever happened for two players on the same team, but they got 3-year, $9 million deals. So that's what it costs in free agency, or to sign those players to extensions at that time.